So the Eagles try to go to 6-0 as they take on the New York Jets this week. And I'm not going to mince words. Zach Wilson stinks. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. So the Philadelphia Eagles take on the New York Jets, trying to get to 6-0, and there is no reason on earth why the Eagles, who are 13-0 lifetime versus the New York Jets, should ever lose this game. Not with Zach Wilson at quarterback. And I don't care if it sounds cocky. I don't care what people say. The Eagles are better than the Jets, and they should double moonwalk that ass. If they don't, the Eagles beat the Eagles, and they're overlooking the Jets for the Miami Dolphins. That's the only thing we got to worry about. But before we get into all of it, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled, pause, Eagles content creator in all of the internet. And if you've been subscribed for a while, I just want to thank you so much for all the support you give to me. And shout out to the Philadelphia Phils, the fighting Phils right here, baby. Going to the National League Championship game. I thought about streaming that game yesterday. I said, I can't take a chance. I can't take a chance at this point in time. But who knows? We'll see. I'm going to have to really hide the stream when it comes to baseball, because I know they want to copyright strike me again. Now, as far as the Eagles go, and I will be streaming that game along with the Giants on Sunday night. And then, of course, we will have the Cowboys meltdown cam this Monday night as the Cowboys hopefully choke up against the Chargers. But for our Eagles and the injury report I'm looking at right now, you look at it and you go, oh, man, there's some guys on here. Jalen Carter, Darius Slay. It's like, man, that's bad. But I really honestly think that if you're going to give them a week off, this is the game to do it. The Jets, despite the Eagles having these guys out, the Jets aren't good enough to beat the Eagles. They're just not good enough, okay? But here's the injury report. Defensive tackle, Jalen Carter, ankle, he's out. They expect him to be back next week, and I really think the Eagles think like me, and they know that they're better than the Jets, and they can afford to give him a week off. Safety Justin Evans, knee, he's out again. So Carter, Evans out. Evans is out constantly, man. I don't think he's done a bad job, but come on, man. The guy's hurt every week. Cornerback Darius Slay, knee, he's out. Like Jalen Carter, he's supposed to be going and ready to go against the big game versus Miami next week, and that's what they're getting these guys ready for, the Miami game. Wide receiver Quez Watkins, hamstring, he's out. Waste. Complete waste. All right, listen, there's a lot of rumors about Judy getting traded, even though he did nothing. Cortland Sutton's another guy we haven't even talked about. I kind of like Sutton in some ways better than I like Judy, but can he play in the slot? But, Quez Watkins is just comes back 1 week and now he's out again. It's a complete waste. Sidney Brown, hamstring, he's questionable. Marlon Tuipulotu, tricep questionable. Fletcher Cox, back, full practice. Nakobe Dean, foot, full practice. Rashad Penny, illness, full practice. Jack Stahl, shoulder, full practice. So Fletcher Cox is coming back this week. With Jalen Carter out and him back, I think we'll be fine. Nakobe Dean, foot, it looks like he's going to play, and a lot of people are expecting him to start. We'll see. I'm just going to see how that thing plays out. But the Eagles should be good to go. I saw that Sauce Gardner Johnson is on the injury report for the Jets late today, questionable with the illness. He'll probably be ready to go. And that's a great place to really jump in to this matchup and when you think about this game. Now, as far as the Eagles offense going up against the New York Jets defense, the guy you have to obviously worry about is Quinnen Williams. Great defensive tackle. Much like facing Aaron Donald, the Eagles offensive line have a tall task against him. He is a disruptor. There is no question about it. Also, Sauce Gardner, he is on the injury report with the illness. I'm sure he'll play, and I'm sure they're going to match him up, probably let him shadow A.J. Brown, which means, in my opinion, I think this is a Devontae Smith game. I think Devontae Smith is going to have a big game. DJ Reed is out at cornerback for them, meaning Bryce Hall is going to play. So I think that if they're shadowing A.J. Brown with Sauce Gardner, I know they don't always shadow. They didn't shadow CeeDee Lamb in that game week 2, but I'm assuming they're going to try to put Gardner on A.J. Brown as much as they possibly can. So I think that when you look at it, I think this is a Devontae Smith game. I think he has a big game this week. Also, I think Dallas Goedert is going to have another big game. This year, defensively for the Jets, they haven't done a great job against tight ends. They've done a great job against receivers, but not so much tight ends. And I think the Eagles, Dallas Goedert, and Devontae Smith, I think they're going to have a pretty good game in the passing game. And, of course, the one thing you can do against the Jets is you can run the ball. You can run the ball. The Jets have given up, not bad, but they give up over 4 yards a carry. So you can run the ball on the Jets. And I see this as a DeAndre Swift type game where he has a pretty big game, and you can work him in. Of course, they give up a lot of yards to quarterbacks running the ball too. So when Jalen Hurts does run, I think there'll be plays to be made. The Eagles, this is a tough defense, but you're talking about still the best offensive line in football. You got one of their starting corners out, I think he had made like 21 straight starts until getting hurt last week. He's going to be out again. So I see that as a big advantage for the Philadelphia Eagles offensively. I think the Jets defense, they're aggressive. They play pretty good. I think they keep the Eagles in it for a while. They keep themselves in it for a while. But where they're going to have a real problem is when the Jets offense has to come out and play. Because to me, if I'm the New York Jets, the one thing that you got to do is run the ball. And nobody, the Eagles are second best against the run this year. Nobody has been able to run on the Eagles, okay? So, to me, the Jets going to have to give Breece Hall at least 20 carries this game. You got to give him at least 20 carries against the Eagles. The Eagles' defensive line should feast on Zach Wilson's ass this week. They should feast on it. Even though Jalen Carter is out, which is a big loss, I think this is a big game for Hassan Reddick. I think he continues to go off because he's a very streaky guy. I think Fletcher Cox and Jordan Davis may have another sack this week, okay? Jordan Davis is going to have a big week. I think the defensive line should feast. You're talking Jets give up at least 2 sacks every week. So I'm thinking Eagles are going to have about 4 or 5 sacks this game. If they do one thing. You got to play the Jets exactly the way you played the Rams in the second half. Put your corners up. I know that Darius Slay is out, is going to be a big deal, and I know that they have Garrett Wilson, and he's a very good receiver. But I don't believe in the guy who's getting him the ball. I do not believe Zach Wilson can make the plays to get him the ball. Unless you got your corners 9 yards back and all he has to do is these little 2-3 yard passes. If you give him that, he'll take it all day long. Force Zach Wilson to have to make the throws downfield. Force him to have to hit that 30-yard pass perfectly, or, that 25-yard out. Make him have to make the big throws to beat you. Don't give him underneath stuff. Don't respect him. One of the things I hate is when the Eagles show too much respect to a quarterback that stinks. And this guy stinks. The guy's under 80 rating like every week. Okay, he's not good, and he should not be able to beat you with his arm. Meaning, the Jets have to come out and they're going to try to run the ball, keep the Eagles offense off the field. They're going to try to control the clock. And I think that this Eagles team is a lot harder to do that than the team last year, because we were not as good against the run last year as we are this year. We are really stout against the run. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Eagles use the linebackers. Will they play Nakobe Dean right away? Will Morrow work in? I think Morrow has done a really, really good job. And me personally, I don't like to mess with a good thing. Okay, it's just the way I am. But I think the Jets are going to have to use Breece Hall, Cook, even Carter at times if they want. And they're going to have to try to run the ball. And if the Eagles stop the run, which I expect them to do, and they sit there and they force Zach Wilson to have to make big throws, I think he'll turn the ball over. I think you're going to see this defense get a touchdown. I'm calling it right now. The Eagles are going to score a defensive touchdown this week versus the New York Jets. And I don't think the Jets are going to be able to do what they need to do to beat the Eagles. That is, keep the Eagles offense off the field, run the ball, eat up the clock, and then score touchdowns. I don't think they can do that. I think the Jets, I think their defense will be aggressive. They will be upstart early, but the Eagles, their offensive line, their defensive line will wear the Jets out by the end of this thing. And I'm saying right now, I think the Eagles are going to win this game 27-10. 27-10 is my final score. I have the Eagles going to 6-0. The only thing that can beat the Eagles, and the only thing that I really worry about, is if the Eagles overlook the Jets for Miami. That Miami game's a Sunday night game. That's going to be like a 41-38 game. You can't tell me that Jalen Carter, Darius, that these guys aren't missing, even Quez Watkins. These guys are missing this game because the Eagles believe that they can beat the Jets regardless. They believe they're that much better than the Jets. And I know there's been a lot of talk about the 11 kisses and all that crap. It's all a bunch of crap. The Eagles are going to beat the crap out of this team because this team stinks. Okay, when they lost Aaron Rodgers, their season went down the drain, and that's the truth. The Jets will try to get themselves up. I know they have played better at home. I don't think the Jets can win this game. I don't think there's anything that they can do. I mean, maybe the Jets, if everything goes their way, maybe, just maybe, special teams, they have a little bit of advantage with Xavier Gibson. Good rookie, good returner, but he's also in the injury report with, I think, a bum ankle. So we'll see how effective he can be. The Eagles can only beat themselves. Stop the run of the Jets. Don't respect Zach Wilson, and this game is over. It's over. I think Devontae Smith, big game. I think Dallas Goedert, big game. DeAndre Swift, big game. And Jalen Hurts continues to get better. And this is going to all lead to the Eagles 6-0 going up against the Miami Dolphins. And it's going to be one hell of a game. Just a reminder, I will be streaming Sunday Eagles, Giants Sunday night, and then the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night with the Cowboys Meltdown Cam. Hopefully we'll get another great week. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision, baby. We're all just living in it. As far as my other NFC East picks for this week, I'll say this. Washington at Atlanta. Atlanta could beat them. There's no question about it. But I got to think, after Washington's coming off a mini bye week because of getting their butts handed to them on Thursday versus the Bears, I got to think they'll be ready to play. I'm going to say Washington wins this week. As far as the Giants-Buffalo game, I mean, that's a Sunday night game. It's stinky. But, I can always enjoy watching the Giants take a beating. So that's exactly what we're going to see. The Giants will lose, no Daniel Jones. So the Giants lose. They'll be, 1-5. They're done. And then the Monday night game is interesting. Cowboys-Chargers. Here's my thing. The Cowboys, if they lose this game, all hell will break loose. I really think, just based upon, have you seen these Cowboy fans, how they've acted this week? They've lost their minds. I mean, dude, they're all hanging out the bridge ready to jump. If the Dallas Cowboys somehow lose, and God willing, it happens, somehow lose to the Chargers this week, all hell's going to break loose. They're going to want Dak out, all that stuff. Unfortunately, I'm going to take Dallas because I think this is a must-win game for them from a mental standpoint. And the Chargers always come up small. I just feel like the Chargers always come up small in prime time, and they'll probably do it again. Their coach is a coach that I think he coaches to not lose. He doesn't coach to win, and he always, I think, blows games. So unfortunately, I think the Cowboys will win. But God, I'm rooting against them. Please, God, let them lose, because if they lose, all hell breaks loose, and I'll love every minute of it. We will have that Cowboys camp going, so let's hope they lose. And Eckler is back. Maybe that'll help. Those are my thoughts on this week in the division. Denzel Washington out.